Hello, my name is Alex Horton, and this morning I'll be demoing a hosted version of the Replicated EDU platform. This platform aims to provide an easy-to-set-up classroom management system and provide the ability to run a course without having to have an always-on server set up. It will allow for secure classroom registration and grading that is fully encrypted and allow instructors to automate the download and grading of their student software and post the results. State for the course, registration, grades, crypto keys, etc. is held in GitHub issues and encrypted using public key encryption techniques, so only the student and instructor who needs to see the information can. So right now, this demo that I'll show you today is being hosted on a modest DigitalOcean server, but could be distributed as a virtual machine to be used by several classes without having to redistribute new programming environments for every student. So what I'll show you now is starting a new instance of the platform. So I'll talk about the architecture in a second, but what this is going to do right now is create a new instance where we will be logging in just a moment. You can see it created right there, and it's currently building. It takes about 2 minutes to build up from scratch. But I'll talk a little bit about the architecture now. So we were logged into the web shell container there. We just sent a new request to the management container that essentially spun up a new instance of the Replicated EDU platform that's all contained within this Docker daemon. We will be logging into the coder instance, but since it has its own Docker daemon running within the overall management Docker, you can now create and destroy containers without worrying about affecting the overall platform. So right now I already have one running that's set up with all of my credentials. And but what you'd want to do prior to actually running any of this is export credentials like this. And we'll wait until the other one pops up just so I can show you that workflow. But to set up the platform, you'd want to both do that and then change your GitHub password. So this should be up and running. Okay, so now we see that we need to go to port 8005, which is our brand new instance. So let's copy this, make a new tab, go to 8005, self-signed cert, unfortunately. Get the password that's been randomly generated for us. Now log in. So now we are within the platform that's being hosted. You can see here that we also keep track of how many sessions, and these are all ephemeral sessions based on my hardware that expire for about 20, 30 minutes. So now this is actually running in here and we're connecting to it. So you can see that we've got a Docker terminal, but the only thing running is that one coder instance. Everything, this is actually the root Docker containers, everything is running within that, providing some isolation for the students. But now I'll go show the platform and essentially how to create and destroy student classes. So the following will walk you through the creation of the course. This will download the repository the student will use based off the class as an initial repo that will generate new repositories for this course's iteration solution and student code. Single example of what this combined source file would look like is here. You can kind of see that skeleton solution. This is just a test class that you can go look through. In the replicated manifest, these are different tests that go through when you're running the automated tests. But right now, let's go create a new course using that. So we'll run this here. This will create a new course using this as the source repo. That was the test class that I just showed you. Write it to a test out directory and create a student and solution directory. So it actually ran through all of the tests in the course just to make sure. As we see, the student ones shouldn't be passing. And then now it generated new repositories on my GitHub. So we can go to that. And we should see some brand new ones that were just created 16 seconds ago. So for this, we're going to need to distribute a key to the students, which is the cord keys. And this is actually how they'll register. So we can also set up the server so we can watch for any student registration. but let's just switch to a student. Paste that key in there and say, let's register. Okay, and this is creating my private student repo, which will pop up there. This is also adding the instructor's private key so they can download my code and execute it. And now it's created, and I should be registered. We'll go over to the registration daemon. This is again back on the instructor. Oh, so it already saw that someone had tried to register. It confirmed the registration. And now I can go back to the student to ensure that I got that confirmation. And registration was confirmed. And just to show you what's going on behind the scenes here, it's essentially in GitHub issues. My student, and basically it uses these to manage all the state, and it closed it after it closed the registration. But you can see there everything's encrypted. The instructor sent back a confirmation encrypted as well. And this is how grading is handled too. So I'll show you a quick example of that. So we'll switch to the grading daemon. First, we have to actually add in to make sure that the deploy key is added into the SSH thing so it can get the student's code. But now it's in the grading daemon. And then we'll switch back to the student and request grading of that brand new repo. So you can see that we're in the repo. We'll run the student code. And now it should, you give them the Git address of what you needed graded. They should already have SSH access to this. It definitely needs to be the SSH Git address. And now it should be graded. Instead of waiting for 30 seconds, let's just restart it. So once you confirm that yes, it does it automatically. So now what it's doing is it just downloaded and executed all of the student's code in an isolated Docker container and then provided results back. So you can go to the student, check grade. Maybe. Well, so I don't know what happened there, but essentially the grade has been posted. The student can then go in and decrypt it on the issues. So you'll see the test class. Let's see, we need to go to the issues. The grade is there, the grade request, and then the instructor posted the encrypted feedback. Essentially what would happen, a little tough time getting this running for the demo, but the student should be able to decrypt all of those there. You know what? I figured out what's wrong. There's the grade. So the student was able to download and decrypt their grade out of the source repo. So right now there's a lot of polishing work to be done. Error handling and edge case handling for the state is not working as well as I'd like it, but this demonstrates the high points of the platform. As the deadline approached, I had to skimp on many security and fault tolerances to work on this. If you have any questions or want to see a walkthrough, please go here to this address and let me know via issues. But thanks for watching.